Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank the organizers for what they've done today and thank Abdul for his welcoming speech. It will be a very interesting session today with us. I think we're talking about food tech and we're talking about food. So I'll try to make my speech simple, and it will reflect on some of the challenges we as a food companies are facing. So the idea is how can we collaborate, innovate, and grow? And this is the trick. How can we work together to the second phase of the food industry? If we can go to the agenda, I'm not very good in technology, so you have to bear with me a little bit. Next, okay. So this is our agenda today, is referring to what Mark has said in the beginning. We will be talking about the changes and the challenges we are facing in the sector. We will be talking about how collaborations is the key to take us forward. And then we will be talking about data-driven economies. I'm sure that you are aware of how our business has evolved in terms of where we were and where we are right now and where are we going based on the technology. UAE food platform and then the future model. Finally, we'll be talking about digitalizations and how it will be affecting our future going forward. Talking about the food sector, all of you know that the food sector considered one of the most important sector in the UAE. It ranked number 2 or number 3 in the UAE based on the real estate performance. If we say, and if we talk about how food sector has evolved with all the stakeholders from consumer to manufacturer to transportations to retailing and consumer, all stakeholders have been going through a lot of change in terms of how they used to do it and how they are doing it right now and how they will be doing it in the future. Yesterday, I was seeing Google supermarket is totally out of this world. No cashier, no cash registrations. You just go pick up whatever you want and you go. This is how retail would be going in terms of evolutions. If we talk about manufacturer, the way we used to produce and the way we're producing right now and the way we'll be producing in the coming 30 years, it will change. We like it or we don't. This change will be affecting each one of us, individual, company, government. If you don't adapt to the change and make sure that you go forward, you would be obsolete. There is a saying, if the change outside you is faster than the change inside you, as an organization, as an individual, as a government, you will be obsolete. People change quickly and drastically. For all this change create challenges. We see companies losing their market share. We see companies closing down. We see people struggling to sustain their business. Why? They've not been able to adapt the change. I can give so many examples about this. We talk about the news. Who does read newspaper now? If we see marketing, how we used to do marketing, how is marketing conducted right now? If we talk about Kodak, how it used to be and where is Kodak now? It's all about digitalizations. If we talk about Airbnb, if we talk about Nokia, all these companies missed something. They did not see the change outside them. People were looking for something different. People were looking for the change. So it depends about us. How do we adapt to these changes and how do we go forward? It's very important for each one of us as an individual, as an organization, and as government as well, that we need to see the outside, how it is going, We need to predict the future. And we need to be eager to, as I said, anticipate what the customer is looking for. So why do I say collaboration is the key? Because I think everybody in the supply chains need the help of the other stakeholders to make sure he has the right decisions. If you remember, in the old way of how we used to do business, and how are we doing it right now, and how we're going to do it in the future. Old way of business, no, these are my information, I will not share it with anybody. No, this is confidential. Nobody should see these informations. No, this is my secret. There is no secret now. You go to the net, everything is published. But it's about how smart you are in utilizing this information. Information is everywhere. In this meeting, there is a lot of information you will be hearing. You go to the net, thousands of informations. You meet people, they will give you so much information. It depends about the individual, it depends about the company, it depends about the government, how much are they utilizing this information, and how successfully they are utilizing these informations. So as I said, by really adapting the new way of sharing knowledge, sharing informations, working together instead of working against each other, we will be able to go to the next stage. Otherwise, we will be wasting a lot of energy, wasting a lot of effort without really achieving the objective we want to do. So we are really emphasizing in building partnership. And this is what we do in Food and Beverage Group. When we set our objective, the idea was how can we really work together with the full supply chain stakeholders, from manufacturer to government, to retailers, to warehousing, to distributions. Everybody in the supply chains have a contribution, which he would be really helping the whole sector to go forward. Data-driven economy. So as I said, the whole world has changed. And it's going very fast lately. The change we see is rapidly. And thanks God that we are in Dubai, we've been blessed by a government who really looking into the future. I remember in the old days when Dubai initiated Dubai Quality Award. That was the flavor of the month. Everybody talked about the qualities. Then they moved to the second phase when they spoke about the e-government for another 10 years. Then they came now to do Smart Dubai. So Dubai city been pushing everybody, private sector, governmental sector. Everybody see this change happening in the government. So you cannot miss it. By force, you have to really go forward and adapt these changes. Otherwise, you will be forgotten. So data, as I said, data is everywhere. How can we transform these data from data to information, to knowledge, to wisdom? Success will come. As I said, it's not about what information you have. Information is everywhere. Now we see our life, how it's changed. I used to study in the state. I remember when we were going from one state to another state, you cannot drive because you have to put the big map in front of you. You don't see in front of you, right? Now everything in Google, where do you want to go? Best restaurant? You just press best restaurant. It will give you the best restaurant being rated by consumer as well. So there is no second guess. What kind of food do you want? Chinese, Indians, Western, whatever you want to choose, it's just a press of button. How they make our life change. So as I said, it's about how can we having this transformations. It's very important for each one of us really to stop, think, where am I going with this change? We have to ask ourselves where we will be after 30 years from now with this technology. Believe me, the last 30 years you've been able to exist because different elements made you able to make it till today. going for the coming 30 years, that thing what make you survive till date will not be enough for you to go forward. This is what we are doing in the food and beverage group. We've set the UA platform. The idea here, as I said, where we've set the whole supply chain and we put all the stakeholders. Each of the stakeholders have different valuable informations. How can we have this information through a press of button? What is consumer preferences? When does consumer eat? What does consumer do when he gets to the retail? What is his behavior? This is in terms of consumer. Then when we talk about retailer, how do they display the product? Now, in so many smart companies, as soon as you get to their shops, you see cameras. You'll not notice that there is camera, but believe me, you've been recorded. They are knowing where do you go. As soon as you enter the shop, do you go left or right? What do you look at as soon as you get to the retail, as soon as you get to the supermarket, up or down? So they are really watching our move to make sure that they don't waste time when they want to introduce a new product or when they want to launch a new promotions. It's not an easy, way of conducting business, but this is the way forward. We have to be smarter in conducting our business to be able to really succeed. And as I said, by having all these informations for every stakeholder, we as an individual will become better in making decisions. Company will be better in making decisions. Government will be better in making decisions and regulating the business. This is our dream. The UAE Food Platform, we were the first group to initiate something much bigger than our role. And the idea was to really help all the stakeholders. After meeting all the stakeholders, we've realized that without information, we will not be able to go anywhere. We will be only in the same circle. So now this is what we are trying to do. Disruptive business model, data harmonized. As I said, in terms of information, there is a lot of information. How can we have smart people to utilize these informations? How can we have smart people to analyze and utilize this information for us to make better decisions? Only with that, we will be having a real key competitive advantage. Otherwise, we will be fighting with the same weapons. Will not take you anywhere. You need to be able to understand your information. You need to be able to utilize this information. You need to be predictive and anticipating what consumer going to do next year. So this really put a lot of pressure about for the companies. And how can we really reinvent ourselves? You see all these companies which came, Airbnb, how it really hit the tourism sector, hotels, how it's been affected. Uber, transportations, and a lot to come, e-commerce, how it changed our life. So we don't have the upper hand now as a manufacturer or even as a government. It's really the information, and who's utilizing this information properly will be able to do it better than us. So my last slide is really about digitalization. And the idea here is how can we make this data available for everybody for free? This is the way forward. There is no way now we're hiding our information. There is no way for you to really keep it secret anymore. Because as I said, we've been watched, we've been recorded. This information already exists. But the trick where is for people who utilize this information. The trick will lies with the people who are a little bit having an edge in terms of utilizing these informations. So this is what we are really looking for from these sessions. And this is the future in terms of how we really collaborate, how can we really capture the data, how can we really work with this data to make it information from information, to make it knowledge from knowledge, to have the wisdom to be able to become successful going forward. I have last advice for each one of you here. If you don't have data scientist, make sure that you have one in your company. Make sure that you have one in your company, either as a data scientist or data analytics, because he is the one who will be determined where you will be going tomorrow. Don't depend on the history of your success. Will never take you forward. These people will be able to tell you what to predict, and they will be able to tell you what to anticipate that your consumer will be looking for. Thank you very much, everybody.